In our world today, there's a lot of different thoughts and opinions on what God is really like. And even a lot of times when I think about it in my own heart, when someone asks, what is God like, or who is he? It can bring about a lot of different thoughts and opinions. It makes me think of one time, my son woke up, he was 3 years old, and I asked him, did he sleep well? He said yes, and I asked, did he have any dreams? And he said, yeah, I had a dream, Dad. I said, well, what did you dream about? And he said, well, I had a dream about Jesus. And I thought, wow, that's awesome. My son's having a dream about Jesus already, and he's so young. And the next morning he woke up, and so I asked him again, hey, do you have any dreams? And he said, yeah, Dad, I had a dream about Jesus. And I said, man, that's awesome. And I started thinking about it a little bit, and I said, well, what was he like? And he said, well, it was a turtle. And what I realized is that my son was just calling a turtle Jesus, that he probably wasn't really dreaming about Christ, but he had dreamed about a turtle, and that's what he had named it. And I think sometimes the same is true of you and me, is that we will give different attributes and characteristics to God. And really, is that what he is really like? And how does God really reveal himself to us? And I just want to encourage you today that the way that God reveals himself to us is through the person of Jesus Christ. In Colossians 1, it says that he is the image of the invisible God. That he is the image of the invisible God. In Hebrews chapter 1, verse 3, it says this, that Jesus is the radiance of the glory of God and the exact imprint of his nature. When we see Christ, we see the exact imprint of the nature of God. That's what we see when we see Jesus. And so we can be confident that when we are following after Jesus, that we are walking in our relationship with God. You know, and a lot of times that's hard to think about. Even the disciples of Christ, Philip came to Jesus one time and he said, Lord, show us the Father. And Jesus said, you've been walking with me all this time. Don't you know when you have seen me, you have seen the Father? And oftentimes if we can want more, desire to see more, what Jesus tells us is that when we have seen him, we have seen God. We've seen what he's like. We can know God's nature and God's characteristics by the person of Jesus Christ. And when we do that, it allows us to do two things. First, it keeps us from making a false God out of our own thoughts and opinions. Without looking to Jesus and seeing who he is in the Bible, it's easy for us to think that God is the way that we want him to be, even if that's not who he truly is. And the second thing when we follow Jesus is it keeps us following on track and worshiping the real, true God and knowing what he's like and being able to walk in a relationship with him. So let's keep following after Jesus. And as we do that, we'll grow closer and closer in our relationship with the one true God.